The first thing she said when she saw me again was my name. Quiet, careful, like it might break. Adil? I didn't answer. I just stood there in the doorway of the small coastal cafe, watching the color drain from her face. 5 years. 5 years since I vanished without a word. And yet somehow, she found me. Of course she did. She was always good at finding things that didn't belong to her. 5 years earlier, the last thing she said to me was different. I didn't mean for it to happen. That sentence still echoes in my head sometimes. Not because it hurt, but because of how absurd it sounded. People always say betrayal is loud, explosive. It isn't. It's quiet, careful, patient, just like she was. When I met Lara, she felt like sunlight after a long winter. We met at a friend's engagement party. She laughed easily, talked with her hands, and looked at me like I was the most interesting person in the room. For a long time, I believed her. We built a life the way most couples do. Slow, ordinary, comfortable. An apartment downtown. Sunday grocery runs. Movie nights that ended with her falling asleep on my shoulder. Trust grows in those quiet routines, and that's why it's so easy to destroy. The first sign wasn't dramatic. It was small. She started locking her phone. Then she started turning the screen away when messages arrived. At first I ignored it. Everyone deserves privacy. But patterns have weight. Late nights at work. New dresses I'd never seen before. The faint smell of cologne that wasn't mine. I didn't confront her. I watched. People reveal everything when they believe you aren't looking. The proof arrived on a Tuesday night. She was in the shower. Her phone buzzed on the counter. One message. One name. Marcus. My business partner. The message preview was short. Last night was worth the risk. That was the moment everything inside me went quiet. No shouting. No broken glass. No dramatic confrontation. Just silence. Because rage is loud, but revenge requires patience. I spent the next 3 months pretending nothing had changed. I kissed her goodbye every morning. I asked about her day. I smiled across dinner tables while she lied to my face. Meanwhile, I was building the exit. Marcus trusted me with every financial account of the company. Every contract, every investor contact. Trust is powerful. Until it isn't. First, I quietly moved my personal assets into new accounts. Then I restructured the company shares through a clause. Marcus never bothered to read carefully. Technically legal, extremely inconvenient for him. The divorce papers came next. I left them on the kitchen table the night before I disappeared. No note. Just signatures. By the time Lara woke up the next morning, I was already gone. New city, new name, new life. And Marcus? Within 6 months, the company collapsed under the weight of debts he didn't know existed. Funny how fragile things become when you remove the person holding them together. For 5 years, I lived quietly. Small town near the water. A business no one asked questions about. Peace is underrated. I never planned to return. But revenge has a strange gravity. And apparently, and so did I. 3 weeks ago, Lara walked into my cafe. At first, I thought it was coincidence. Then I noticed how carefully she studied the room before approaching. She had been searching. Her hair was shorter now. Her confidence thinner. But the guilt in her eyes? That part was still fresh. A deal, she said again, stepping closer. I know you hate me. I finally spoke. I don't hate you. That confused her. People always expect anger. They think it proves you still care. But indifference is colder. She sat across from me like a ghost from another life. Marcus lost everything, she said. I know. Her eyes widened slightly. You knew. Of course I did. I built the fall myself. She swallowed. I left him 2 years ago. I didn't react. That's not my concern. Her voice cracked then. I spent years trying to find you. That part was interesting. Why? She hesitated. Regret looks different on everyone. On her, it looked like exhaustion. Because you deserved an explanation. I leaned back in the chair. No, I said calmly. You needed forgiveness. Silence stretched between us. The waves outside tapped softly against the harbor. Finally, she whispered, Can you give it? I studied her carefully. 5 years ago, that question would have destroyed me. Now it barely touched me. Lara, I said quietly, I already did. Hope flickered across her face. Then I finished the sentence. I forgave you the moment I walked away. Relief started to form in her expression. Until I added one more thing. But forgiveness doesn't mean you get access to my life again. The words landed slowly, like a door closing. She realized then that this meeting wasn't a reunion. It was closure. For me. For the first time since she arrived, I stood up. I built something peaceful here, I told her. And I plan to keep it that way. Her voice trembled. So, that's it? I nodded. That's it. I walked past her toward the door. For a moment I thought she might follow. She didn't. Because some endings are final, and some betrayals erase the version of you that ever loved the person responsible. Outside, the sea breeze felt clean. 5 years ago, I lost everything I thought mattered. But walking away from that cafe, I realized something. I hadn't disappeared to escape her. I disappeared to become someone she could never reach again.